Hey guys, we're back from Printing United and we're tired.
Tired, weary, peopled out.
10 total podcasts and you're about to see them. So, without further ado, roll that intro.
Cheers.
We're about to hop into that episode, but first we want to talk about our sponsors.
Without these sponsors, our podcast wouldn't be possible. So, first up is Monarch Color, our favorite ink
Yes.
ever.
Yep.
We talk about it all the time.
Yes, we do.
It's
Yep.
very opaque, easy to use, easy to train your printers on, and it makes your printers' lives easier.
So if you want to check out what we use and what a lot of people use in the industry, it just does what it needs to do, does what it's supposed to do. Check out monarchcolor.com.
And if you're looking for a place to buy Monarch ink, that would be our friends over at Blue Ridge Screen Products. Aaron and Rebecca over there, they carry Anatol presses, GSF screens, Monarch Color ink.
Yeah, they carry
You name
water
it.
base, all kinds of different things. All the supplies you need for your shop. They are experts, have a lot of knowledge, and they partner with your shop, not just sell you something. So check out Aaron and Rebecca at Blue Ridge Screen Products at blueridgescreenproducts.com.
Use last call 10 for 10% off your order.
That's right.
And last but not least, Corchem.
Corchem is a chemical company for screen printing chemicals. We found out at the Printing United that they do a lot more than that.
Yeah,
So
I had
there's-
no idea.
Yeah, so check out Corchem.
And those are some really fun guys to hang with.
Really fun guys to hang with.
So call Barry, call Jason. They'll help you out with all your screen printing chemical needs. And last but not least, again, PMI tape, our favorite tape in the industry. It is great for doing what it's supposed to do, holding in place throughout your print runs without any leakage or sticky residue after.
That's right. So get some PMI tape. It's tape for screen printers.
And now on to the episode. All right, well, welcome, Kyle from Sanmar. You are our first guest at Printing United
Thank you.
Atlanta 2023.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so great show so far. We're about an hour in.
Yep, first day.
It's been a little crazy.
It has.
How's it been
It's-
for you guys setting up and
Yeah, everything went really smooth. It's really fun to come to this show every year. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, I think. We've been doing this show now for probably about 8 years, I want to say. And each year, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Vegas, it just, the turnout continues to amaze me, not just in, attendance on the floor, but the exhibitors that are here and how really that continues to grow and people learn more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, it is 5 after 10 in the morning, and we're cracking a beer.
Cheers, all.
All right. All right, so first thing is you weren't here last night. I used your booth to sell some Carhartt hoodies out of your booth.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. I didn't take anything. I just
No,
went.
but a customer said, "Can we get 'em?"
A customer said, "Can we get Carhartt hoodies?"
Cool.
And I go, let me check. And I walked over because I'm not a salesperson at my work. My wife is, and we have a sales team.
Me?
And I was like,
Your co-host?
"Oh yeah, Christy's on my sales team." and so I walked over there. I'm like, "Yep, right here." Took 2 pictures.
Right on.
Sent them to him. Walked back. So
Excellent, okay.
Yeah, it was
Do you remember which
wonderful.
ones you showed?
It was the hoodie and the zip, so
Okay.
I'm not sure. They asked for a
Very-
specific one, and I was like, well, now we can follow up with Sanmar.
Could have been the midweight fleece. That's, if you go to retail, one of Carhartt's best-selling styles is
Yeah.
their midweight fleece.
And our shop's in South Carolina, so the Carhartt brand there is very
Huge,
popular.
huge.
Yeah.
So
Probably
we
now
appreciate
time.
that you guys have it
Noticed.
for sure. So Kyle, how did you get started at Sanmar?
Well, that's a fun story, and it's somewhat lengthy, so for sake of time, I'll try and be brief.
Cliff
But
notes.
in 2008, I purchased my sister's screen printing shop, which was located in
wow.
a small town of Poplar Grove, Illinois.
I've heard of it.
Have you? Probably, because it's not too far from Buffalo Grove, which I think is where Anatol calls home, right?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
They just moved.
what's that?
They just moved to a new warehouse.
Just okay,
Who
gotcha.
else? Isn't that where Golden Press is?
No,
No.
they're in Indiana.
So in 2008, I purchased a screen print shop running Anatol equipment.
Oh wow! Okay.
Surprise, surprise.
Wow.
That's the fun part of the story. And I ran that shop for 4 years, right? I was born and raised in North Central Illinois. After about 4 years of owning the shop, I really just wanted to see something different. I wanted to get to a different location, experience a different culture, different lifestyle. So I chose Seattle. I sold the screen printing shop.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I moved to Seattle, and when I got to Seattle, I said, you know what, Sanmar's here. They were my top apparel supplier when I owned my screen printing shop. Maybe I'll just get a job with Sanmar and see how it goes. So I got a job as an account executive answering the phones. I did that for about a year and a half, and then I identified the territory manager position as something that I wanted to do. And we had 6 spots open up, right? We had DC, Baltimore, North Jersey, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Grand Rapids, St. Louis.
Okay.
And when our national sales manager asked me what my priority was, I said, just don't send me anywhere flat. Because literally, that's why I moved
That
to
was
Seattle.
your life,
right.
yeah.
And now I'm leaving, and I just want to make sure I go somewhere with maybe a little bit of terrain. So we looked at a topographical map of Pittsburgh, and the clouds parted. It looked perfect for me. I relocated to Pittsburgh in 2013. I did that role for about 8 years. And then right around COVID, I actually received a promotion onto our Decorator and Digital Solutions team. And now I work with large-scale contract decorators across the Northeast, Maine to Virginia. So large markets include New York, Philly, Buffalo, Boston, Baltimore, and D.C. And I work with screen print affiliates as well.
Awesome.
Because that's my background, right? So great time visiting the Anatol booth today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to go backwards a little bit. Fun fact, I used to live in Seattle as well.
No kidding.
Where did you live?
I lived in Issaquah.
Okay, I lived in Mill Creek.
I don't know where Mill Creek is.
It's like right below Everett,
Okay.
so very close.
How long were you there for?
7 long years.
Yeah, that's a long time to not see the sun.
Yeah. And I am from North Carolina, so I really love the
So
sun.
you really got the full effect then.
Yeah. And then right before I moved to Seattle, I lived in Charleston, which is like the home of hospitality and sunshine.
Right.
So it was really hard.
Okay.
So,
Seattle's cool.
so needing the topographical map to check out, make sure it wasn't flat. Are you hiker or what do you do?
Yeah, you know, when I lived in Seattle, hiking was something I did every weekend, every other weekend.
Okay.
It was so easy, even if it was raining, to get out, you know, and get into the Cascade Mountain Range, go over to the Olympic Mountains, go and hike around Mount Rainier.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, the volcanic landscape out there in the Cascades is unlike any other, really.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to part from that, but at the same time, you know, it was a career advancement. I couldn't say no. And I got to keep a little bit of the mountains with me, even if they're not as tall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're up in
absolutely.
Maine, you get to go to Mount Washington if you want.
New Hampshire, yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's Acadia National Park in Maine, which is amazing. My wife and I love that area.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to go there sometime. I love national parks.
Highly recommended.
Cool.
So what are you pushing here at the show this year for Sanmar?
Things are getting crazy.
So whenever we come to these shows, we really like to dial in on 2 things: our best sellers and our new styles that were just released, right? So if you come over to the Sanmar booth today or over the course of the next 2.5 days, you're going to see all of the new stuff that we released this fall. It's called our fall launch. And then we also have our what we call essential best sellers in the Sanmar booth. And that really is across all categories, right? Whether it's headwear, bags, T-shirts, fleece, outerwear, polos, you name it, some accessories. It's in the Sanmar booth. A good percentage of those are decorated as well, right? So we have screen printed fleece, screen printed T-shirts of different varieties too, not just standard Plastisol. We have items that have been discharged. We have items
Yep.
with puff on it. All things that can be decorated with Anatol equipment in fun, different, unique ways.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things about Sanmar is you guys offer some more upscale lines for my corporate clients.
Correct.
So that's my favorite part. Like, why should someone choose Sanmar as a distributor in your mind?
So if you're a distributor and you choose Sanmar, you have the advantage of 8 strategically located distribution centers across the country. We actually have a 9th one coming in 2024. It's going to be in Ashland, Virginia. It will be our largest facility, 1.1 million square
Wow.
feet. So that is a massive footprint. It's going to be our new flagship warehouse. And really, I think, the cornerstone of Sanmar's business model has always been deep inventory and customer service, right?
Okay.
So
You guys do have the best customers.
we have a massive amount of inventory, and if you ever have the opportunity to take a tour of the Sanmar warehouse, I highly encourage it. One of our 8 or upcoming 9 warehouses. It's just a really, really cool opportunity to see how everything is picked, packed, and pulled and shipped.
Yeah.
And on top of that, obviously, the great brands that we have, right? From our great collection of private label brands that we make in-house, Port Authority, Sport Tech, Port & Company, Cornerstone, as well as all the retail brands that are now available and abundant in our catalog.
Yeah. So if someone lives near a distribution warehouse, can they stop in and have a tour?
Yeah,
or how does that work?
If you're an active Sanmar customer with an open account, you can actually get in touch with your local sales representative. and they can fill out a form to look at scheduling for a tour. Busy season, peak time of year. We're kind of approaching that right now. I would probably say let's hold off until maybe early 2024, January, February. Then yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And you mentioned the customer service at Sanmar, and I will say our purchasing gal, we have to beg her to order from other people sometimes because she only likes to deal with Sanmar because of your customer service. So
is that gal?
yeah.
No,
I'm not sure who she.
No.
Our purchasing.
Oh, our purchasing.
Yeah.
Haley.
Yeah, Haley,
Haley,
at
okay.
Rock Hill Screen Printing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're at Rock
but
Hill
she loves Sanmar.
Okay. Yeah, our customer service is really great. I mean, every time you get somebody on the phone, they're happy, they're cheery, they're excited to help you, and most importantly, they're knowledgeable. We have so much in our catalog that it really is overwhelming to learn, but we have a great training team that gives our new employees a great download. And when I started at Sanmar, the training process was literally 11 months.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's extensive.
Yes, we've been able to parse that down just a little bit now, but yeah, 11 months when I started was how long it took to start and then become an actual account executive with a roster of customers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that your customer service representatives are allowed to make decisions and make solutions for the people calling in,
Absolutely.
which is awesome.
Yeah, they're empowered to do so.
Yeah.
So you got winter line coming out, or is that what you're?
Yeah, in the booth today, if you go over there, a lot of the new fall launch product does include outerwear.
Okay.
The puffy jacket has certainly taken a strong stance in our catalog over the last several launches, and again across different brands. Right, puffy jackets from Port Authority, puffy jackets from Eddie Bauer.
has one.
Ogio has got a puffy. Our newest brand, Mercer and Metal, which we just launched last year, has a puffy jacket as well.
Okay.
So yeah, if you haven't seen the Mercer and Metal stuff, I highly recommend coming over to the Sanmar booth and taking a look at
Yeah.
it.
Is that a Sanmar brand? Okay.
It
Awesome.
is, and we don't release a lot of Sanmar brands on a regular basis, but that was one that came out last year. And Mercer and Metal is really our answer to satisfy millennials.
Okay.
Because if you look at who is entering the workforce over the course of the next 5 years, 75% of the workforce or more is going to be millennial, right?
Absolutely.
And what they want to wear to work is a lot different than what I think people wanted to wear to work beforehand. And especially COVID accelerating that mindset of what I can wear in the house while I work, I can also wear out to dinner that night. And then if I meet up with friends and have some drinks, I can wear the same thing throughout the whole day, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they can expense the apparel too
Right.
and wear it all day,
Right.
which is
Yep.
awesome.
It's what we call work-life blending.
I love
If you're
it.
familiar with work-life balance, work-life blending would be that concept.
Yeah. And so what's the price point on that brand compared to some higher name brands that you guys
So
carry?
if you look at something like Port Authority, which is still our number one best-selling house brand, came out in 1991. There's various price points there, the majority of which are very friendly, regardless of if you're doing polos, fleece, or outerwear. If you look at Mercer and Metal, the difference between that brand and Port Authority is Mercer and Metal has just got a little bit more of a modern fit, a modern cut, modern stylings. Because of that, you're going to elevate the price point a little bit, but nothing too extreme. It's still
Okay.
very affordable product, and I don't think it's anything that's going to scare anybody away. You're just looking at a few dollars more, literally.
Awesome. And so we talked about the apparel that's trending for the winter. What about colors or fabric types or anything like that?
Yeah, gray, navy, and black.
Really? Yeah.
Black always.
Is
right?
anybody
Black and
surprised
white for
by
winter,
that?
yeah.
I know that whenever our merchandising team talks to a lot of those retail brands, when they enter our catalog, or if we're looking for new inspiration, we always look at the best-selling colors for us, which are in fact black, gray, and navy. And we ask them, what colors are selling well for you, and their answer is black, gray, and navy. But we can't just offer black, gray, and navy. So we do have some fun colors that come out. Earth tones are trending right now. You'll see
fall.
earth tones in our brand All Made. That's a sustainable brand that we have. It entered our catalog about 3 years ago. Pastels are still trending. Tie-dye certainly never goes away. It seems like
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy. It seems like every couple of years we come out with a brand new tie-dye pattern. So right now our newest one is called the Cloud tie-dye. There's a fleece option, which is a ladies' pair of sweatpants and a little bit of a V-neck.
Okay.
And it's a really cool style. That one's actually decorated with puffing in the booth today.
Oh, wow. And that cloud tie-dye, do you have any idea of how it's made or manufactured to get that
It's
look?
just a unique dyeing process, which is truly the answer and story for every tie-dye.
Okay.
Just a different way that it's wrapped as opposed to a traditional swirl or an open window tie-dye or a tiger stripe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. I hadn't heard of that one yet, so I'll have to come
Yeah.
over and
Stop
take a
by
look
and
at
take
it.
a look. It's great.
Good.
No, yeah. So I was curious. So when you're doing, like, you see the rise and I would say not fall, but the rise of DTG and needing the pre-treated shirts and those types of things. Did you feel like you hit a high point with that and now it's going down with the introduction of DTF, or do you feel like you're still staying steady? You feel like you're growing in that DTG?
Yeah, I think those two stories can exist on the same planet, and I think that it's going to continue to grow for both, right?
Okay.
So we have a great line of product called Posi Print Styles, and these are pre-treated shirts right out of the box. I think that's what you were alluding to.
Yep.
So these are pre-treated as a bolt of fabric at the manufacturing level, and then they are cut and sewn together. So when they arrive to the decorator shop, they're already pre-treated. It eliminates the need for pre-treating in-house.
Yeah.
We would just recommend throwing them on a heat press, pressing those fibers down for 10 seconds, and then going to town on production. The great thing about DTF is that, the synthetic story is there. You can decorate 100% polyester styles, right? The world of DTG, I think, is still a little inconsistent in that space, but certainly with DTF, you can go all over the map. Headwear, bags, performance fabrics, tri-blends, and you don't have to worry as much.
I think there's just still so many variables with garment types and colors and dyeing and all that. The DTG, it's just hard. It's just hard.
Yeah, it is.
And the DTF kind of takes out all those variables.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the fun thing about DTG is it continues to evolve. It's been in the space for a long time, and we're doing as much as we can to try and answer some of those challenges, right?
Yeah.
So, I can't say anything today, but look forward to some fun new Posi Print styles here coming very soon.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So, for the rest of the week, what do you have on deck?
I'm going to go visit some of our affiliate partners. I am going to be writing a blog for Sanmar on what we learned at Printing United.
Awesome.
This is something I'm tasked with every year, and I always enjoy it because I get to hit the show floor, uncover what's new, discover new stories, new products, and then really kind of share the story with the masses who may not have attended or who may have attended but missed it while they were here.
Yeah, and where is that blog published?
So that blog is published on our team's landing page. If you go to sanmar.com, hover over resources, click on Decorator and Digital, you'll find a link to our blog, which I believe is connected to Sanmar University. And our team, we have a team of 6. We cycle off every other week.
Okay.
So a new person writes a new blog, new content.
And can you talk about that Sanmar University? What's in there for our printers?
Yeah, Sanmar University is a phenomenal resource. Sanmar University used to be our training platform for internal hires. I went through Sanmar University when I was a new hire at Sanmar. And a couple years afterwards, we decided to flip it around and really display it to the masses. So that way, if you are a Sanmar customer, you can jump on there and you can watch training videos, not just about decoration, but about fabric, right? Kind of like a glossary of terms. What does piqué mean? People enter the industry and like, I don't know what piqué means. I don't even know how to spell it.
I actually thought it was piqua.
Piqua or peak.
Peak. I've always called it peak.
Piqué.
Right.
Piqué.
Right. Yeah. There are so many
very
different,
fancy.
so many different terms and words in our industry that it can be overwhelming. So Sanmar University is really an outlet and a conduit to try and educate people that are either new hires. You have somebody in management who wants to put together a training platform for onboarding. Sanmar University is certainly a very, very great place to start.
You know what? I really love that because last week I was with the Gildan Board of Decorators and we were up at Perrin Sportswear and we talked about ring spun and open knit and like all these terms, and some of us know them, but we don't, like, nobody in the room knew all of them.
Sure.
And it's like, how have we been printers 9 years and we don't know all the little terms?
Right.
So this seems like a really good resource for people to educate their sales staff and learn themselves on the best products to sell and how to sell them. So I hope you guys check that out.
Yeah,
So,
all resources are great.
yeah, absolutely. Anything else from you?
Well, I had a question. So the biggest thing, you said you were a screen printer before, and you had Anatol, but what were you running from Anatol? Were you running a manual?
It was Anatol Stratus automatic.
Stratus automatic.
8-station.
What's your thoughts on the Volt and all that moving forward? I mean, it kind of
it's cool.
They started the trend now. You think that electric presses are going to be the wave of the future? And
well, they're a lot quieter. I'll say that much.
Yes, that's right.
Because my Stratus definitely had a large air compressor that I had to cordon off with a plywood box, basically, that was made on my own. So I love the quiet aspect of it, the smooth aspect of it, and the digital displays are just something that I always love to see, simply because I didn't have that. on my Stratus.
Yeah.
And so coming from the screen printing world now to Sanmar, do you have any advice for like small shops that maybe just getting into it? And it could be screen printing advice. It could be to say, hey, this is who Sanmar is. Here's what you need to know about us, kind of thing, so that they're more comfortable. And it's the process of probably applying for the decorators. I guess what is it? Where you manufacturers wholesale price,
Distributor.
Right.
distributor or whatever. How you get?
Yeah, I think a lot of people enter the industry and they don't necessarily know about the behind the curtain companies like Sanmar, right? And I think it's a great opportunity. It's not too challenging to set up an account with us. Contact our resale team. They can tell you what you need to supply. If you're a new decorator, take it slow. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If you're running with a manual press and it's working, great. Upgrade to an automatic when you feel like the time is right. Is the volume there? Do you feel like your back's starting to hurt more and more? Do you need to bring on employees?
Do you know how to sell?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's important. It's certainly there's a lot to learn when it comes to the world of screen printing, and there's so many different inks and there's so many different variables. There's heat tolerant fabrics and there's fabrics that are less tolerant to heat, right? So when you're decorating on tri-blends or polyester fabrics, is your dryer set to success with the right temperature so you're not burning the fabric or experiencing the dreaded dye migration when it comes out, or even later when the customer opens the box. Just take your time, do your research, ask questions. One thing I learned about the decorator community is that we're all very friendly.
Yeah.
There are competitors out there that are decorating garments alongside you, but a lot of those competitors are very happy to help and answer questions and don't feel like you can't ask those.
Yeah, that's like the theme of our podcast is if you look around, everybody's wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's plenty of t-shirts to be printed for everybody.
And this is fun. We're talking about clothes. We're talking about t-shirts. This is something that should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. This is a great learning opportunity. Screen printing, I have a passion for it. The reso that's in the booth as well for the new startup shop that may not want to invest in a bunch of different chemicals like emulsion, a light box, a washout booth. The reso is a great, I think, entry point for a lot of decorators that,
and your
eliminates the
screens
waste.
will be right every
There you go.
single time,
There you
which
go.
is amazing.
Easy to register, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I love your story too, how you were a screen printer and then you went into a different part of the industry. You didn't just like choose something different. So there's a lot of screen printers that get into it thinking like my famous last words, how hard could it be to print a t-shirt?
Right.
And then they find out really fast that it's really freaking hard.
You don't just push a button. Yep.
Right.
So I love that you used your knowledge in screen printing and then you went off into a career other parts of the industry. So kudos on you, and I think it's a great story. Like the long-term screen grind of printing shirts every day isn't for everybody, but there's still a spot in this industry.
There absolutely is.
And a successful spot in this industry.
I realized that, after a little while, it wasn't going to be my future. It wasn't going to be my story. But without it, I wouldn't have the story that I have today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was so great meeting you, Kyle.
Thank you. It was great meeting you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, do you want to give out information on how to get a hold of Sanmar?
Yeah, our phone number is 1-800-426-6399, extension 2 for customer service. Ask for new accounts. They can get you over to the right people to get you set up.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle, for being on the show, man.
Appreciate it. See ya.